Hello, welcome to Going Global. I'm your host, Chung Se-mi. These days, we constantly hear about accidents and incidents that are happening around the world. That's probably why we're more eager than ever for news that make us happy. And here are some heartwarming stories that caught people's attention recently. In the United States, a man became the center of spotlight when he saved a driver from his car that was hanging off a cliff. And in China, a man saved more than 10 passengers alone who were trapped inside a bus that was stuck on a flooded road due to a hot water pipe that burst nearby. Amid the many sad and tragic news we hear every day, there are still a lot of heartwarming stories about everyday heroes around the world. So why don't we pay more attention to these people and stories, the stories that are making the world a better place to live in. Going Global starts off with one such story today. A Korean school in Brazil that teaches Korean language and culture is on the verge of being closed down. So, the Korean-Brazilian community has come together to save the school. Let's take a look.
Colegio Polilogos is a Korean school in Brazil that was founded in 1998. These days, only the lower grade students are seen here. There are no senior students. The school can hold up to 500 students, but currently there are less than 100 students in the whole school. 17 years since its opening, the school is at a risk of being closed down.
없어지면 친구들도 다 나눠줘야 되니까 다른 학교로 그래가지고 좀 슬플 것 같아요.
Due to poor management, the school ended up with a debt of about $2.7 million. Being unable to handle the high taxes and payroll, the school is close to being put up for auction. The school opened with more than 300 students in the beginning, but as they left one by one, only 45 students were left in 2012.
유일하게 한국어를 가르치고 말하고 쓰고 읽게 하는 이런 학교인데 그렇기 때문에 앞으로도 계속 이 학교는 계속되고 더 높은 학년들까지 계속 이어지기를 굉장히 바라고 있는 그런 마음입니다.
Korean expats in Brazil formed an emergency organizing committee to save the school. The committee conducted a fundraising campaign to raise money for school operation. They also actively informed the Korean-Brazilian community of the importance of a school where the students can learn their native language.
1세가 할 수 있는 일은 결국은 그런 교육, 문화를 지키고 이것밖에 우리가 돈 벌고 그냥 죽는 것보다는 좀 보람 있는 일을 이걸 통해서 할 수가 있는 거 아니겠어요?
The school has also opened after-school programs such as golf and swimming to draw in more students. It now has classes taught not only in Korean but also in Portuguese. Thanks to these efforts, the number of students increased to 80 in 2 years.
수영, 태권도, 골프 이런 다양한 프로그램을 운영해서 브라질 동포들이 어떤 구심체 역할을 할 수 있는 그런 센터로서의 역할을 다하도록.
The Korean school in Brazil is slowly coming to life with the hopes and support of the Korean-Brazilian community. We hope the school continues to educate the children and nurture them into proud Koreans in the global community.
Luckily, the efforts made by the Korean-Brazilian community to save the Korean school are gradually paying off. With all their efforts, we hope the school will continue to grow and serve the community. Next, competition is fierce in the world of computer games. It's eSports. And South Korea is one of the best and leading countries in the eSports world. And 2 teenagers from Korea who moved to South Africa with their families in 2008 have become the key players for the South African eSports team. What's the story behind their success? Let's find out now.
A sip of water and a hand stretch, and they are ready for the game. His fingers dart over the keyboard. The teammates share their strategies as they attack the opponent. They are 17-year-old Kang Min-gu and Lee Seung-min. They represent Team South Africa for eSports. They proudly came in first place at the national team trials held in Cape Town last year. only 20 people were selected from about 1,000 participants. The two showed perfect teamwork.
아무래도 게임을 하려면 호흡이 잘 맞아야 이길 수 있기 때문에 대체적으로 다 잘 호흡이 맞습니다.
Ek dink Mingo het die vermoë om die wedstryd te lei. Sangming is 'n kombinasie. Hy gee goeie ondersteuning en hy lees die situasie in geheel.
Mingo and Seungmin came to South Africa with their families in 2008. The language and culture were all strange and new, but the two quickly became friends in this foreign country as they shared one thing in common. They both loved playing games since elementary school.
더욱더 친구가 있기 때문에 힘을 더 낼 수 있기 때문에 더 열심히 잘할 거라 믿습니다.
Their parents worried at first that their kids might get addicted to computer games. But Mingo and Seungmin have always been ranked at the top end in their studies. Their parents are now their most avid supporters. Every Friday, they take their kids to the training center.
게임하면서 공부 이런 거에 소홀하지 않을까 하는 그런 걱정을 했었어요. 다른 생활 같은 것도 착실히 잘 하니까 별다른 이렇게 우려 같은 거는 안 했어요.
The team's next goal is to participate in an international eSports competition held in August where professional gamers from 54 different countries in Africa will compete. They are aiming to become the winner of this highly competitive tournament.
남아공 대표로 뽑혀서 이제 세계 최고의 선수가 되고 싶습니다.
점점 더 각광받고 있기 때문에 한국인으로서 더욱더 널릴 수 있는 그런 기회가 되지 않을까 생각합니다.
Kang Min-gu and Lee Seung-min, the two youngsters will continue to compete in the intense world of eSports. And they will practice without a break until they become world champions as proud Koreans.
eSports fighting, fighting.
It's great to see how the two youngsters, Kang Min-gu and Lee Seung-min, are building friendship and teamwork. We hope to see the two compete on the world stage as professional esports players one day. Now, how good are you at recycling? In California, United States, if you recycle aluminum, glass, and plastic containers at certain recycling centers, you can actually get a little money back for your efforts. And that's why, for the residents in California, recycling has become a part of their daily routine. So let's take a look at how this recycling system works.
Faiza Mokta enjoys soft drinks. She visits a recycling center with the empty plastic bottles that she's collected over the past month. She recycles them to get a refund of the deposit included in these empty bottles.
When we feel like it's overtaking our house, we'll finally come in.
About 50 people visit this recycling center each day. And there's a special machine at this place. It's a machine that automatically separates and counts the empty containers according to their material. The machine reads the California redemption value label on the beverage containers and prints out the receipt of your refund. And when you go to a nearby supermarket with the receipt, you can exchange it for a cash refund or other items.
But then often, but I think before we really didn't, but when we found out you can do it for money, we started doing it.
The recycling machine was first introduced by a company that used to make plastic containers. When the company saw that the used containers were just being thrown away, they found a way to save material costs as well as to preserve the environment.
The garbage disposal system in the state is so inefficient, it's horrible, so it helps with that. So yeah, I mean, it's just a great thing. It just saves lives and it saves our planet and just makes it a better place.
There are more than 4,000 small and big recycling companies across the state of California. The state's efforts were behind the increase in the number of recycling companies. It established a state law 11 years ago to designate recycling convenience zones in an 800-meter radius around a store that sells beverages. There are currently about 1,400 convenience zones. People can easily visit the recycling centers and get a refund.
Markets are required to recycle by state. There's a state law that requires them to recycle. They come to us as a compliance piece to help them provide that service on their behalf.
The containers collected at the recycling centers are moved to factories in other regions and are recycled into disposable containers. With these efforts, 100% of aluminum and 82% of glass were successfully recycled in California last year.
It's been going up. It's probably at the all-time high. Recycling rates have gone up over the last 5 years.
Recycling has now become a part of California residents' daily lives. They are setting an example of pursuing eco-friendly habits in everyday life.
"100% recycling rate for aluminum and about 82% for glass. It seems to be the perfect way to save natural resources and protect the environment. If the entire global population could make such efforts, then we can keep the Earth a healthier and greener place." Ssireum, or Korean wrestling, is one of the traditional sports of Korea. Ssireum matches always take place on traditional holidays. However, in modern times, Ssireum is slowly being forgotten. But far from Korea and New Zealand, a Ssireum competition drew a large crowd. Let's join in the fun.
There's tension between the two contestants looking for a chance to make their move. A Korean in his 50s uses his leg skills to force the young opponent to the ground.
이렇게 젊은 친구들과 함께 어울린다는데 너무 기쁘고요.
Even non-Koreans who are unfamiliar with wearing a cloth belt, known as a satba, participated in the match. They are quickly pulled into the sport where victory is determined by skills rather than strength.
Figure it's not really an advantage, it's just the techniques that are used really. Yeah, it's quite an interesting fact to me.
Celebrating its 4th year, the New Zealand Ssireum competition was launched to preserve and revive Korea's cultural traditions. The competition is divided into 2 categories, one for overseas Koreans and the other for native New Zealanders. This year, about 30 New Zealanders participated in the competition, the highest number ever, showing how popular Ssireum is getting in the country.
한국의 전통 경기 씨름을 이 나라 외국 교민들한테도 알리고 교민들이 잊혀져가는 씨름 경기를 위해서 진행을 하고 있습니다.
The local winner of this year's competition is given the opportunity to represent New Zealand and participate in the World Ssireum Championship held in November in the city of Seosan, South Korea. A test of strength and skills on sand. Korea's traditional sport, Ssireum, has given both overseas Koreans and New Zealanders an unforgettable experience.
It's amazing to see how Korea's traditional sport is being enjoyed in New Zealand. It also made me realize how important it is to preserve our culture and make efforts to share it with the world. I hope you enjoyed the stories we brought you today on Going Global. Recently, in the United States, a woman gave birth to 5 girls, making it the first all-girl quintuplets in the country. It's also said to be the first in the world in 46 years. And an online fundraising event took place for the parents of the quintuplets to help with their finances. Just small gestures that add up to something big. Going Global will be back next week with more fascinating and exciting stories. Thank you for watching.